Hello there, everybody. It's me, your Star Wars dad, and I'm here today with my special guest, Songeta. Say hi to the kids, Songeta.
Hey, Star Wars Dad, thanks for having me on. This is my first collab ever.
Well, man, I'm excited to have you on. So I've just started doing these weekly updates this year, and in the very first one I did, I think 3 or 4 people said you got to get Songeta on here, and I put you on the last week's video, and I called you Songeta, and you just corrected me. And tell me real quick, what's the origin of your name?
Origin of my name is a contrived combination name of Son Goku and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. In that series, they fuse, and I don't like the names they use, so I came up with Songeta for it. So you actually said Songeta, or Songeta, yeah. So you didn't get any part of it right. That's fine.
I will tell you, my oldest son is, and 3 of my boys are actually into Dragon Ball Z and just anime in general. And my youngest took me to see, what was that recent one that came out? I don't know, Red. They took me to see Red in the theater, which is...
Okay, I'm not current with it, actually.
All right. Well,
yeah, I like old stuff.
My oldest son has a Dragon Ball sweatshirt that he wears, and it's orange and blue. And he's got the. We were walking through town one time, and there's this guy playing a guitar and singing on a microphone, and he stopped a song in the middle and goes, "I love your hoodie, man. I love your hoodie," because I guess it's just like right on Dragon Ball.
People love that stuff. Yeah.
That's
good stuff.
You asked me a minute ago how I got my name, and I forgot to tell you. But in Return of the Jedi, when 3PO is telling their story to the Ewoks, he mentions Nooch Vader, and so my buddy and I, as we were growing up, we called each other Nooch. We still do. Like, I'll come up to him and we'll say, "Hey Nooch, hey Nooch," and my brother still calls. So that's where Nooch came from. It's since 1983. It's that old. It's been around that long.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is this some obvious I'm missing? But no, that's pretty obscure. That's pretty cool.
People will get it confused with Jay and Silent Bob. There's a Nooch thing in there, but that's not really my bag. So.
I actually Googled Nooch because I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something obvious, and it was some kind of vegan supplement. So
yeah, it's a yeast of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
That's not me, baby. All right, so Songeta, you're making content, and I've watched some of your stuff, and today I watched, I think it was your video from today or yesterday, but you played Grand Arena, and you're playing the number 180 in the world, so you're like uber end gamer, where I'm more of like a early to mid game kind of content guy. And my first question for you, because I can see your roster, you've got the 6 Galactic Legends, no Jabba yet. You got Raditz. I'm gonna assume you got.
Look again, Nooch.
Oh wait, hold on, back up. You just don't have him leveled, geared up yet. Is that right?
What would He's R7. He only has 2 Zetas.
Okay, so
he is lower galactic power 30.
There he is. Oh, you got Jabba. All right.
But I just got him.
Gotcha. So you're working on the ultimate. You got to save up 4 Zetas, and I mean, you got the roster, dude.
For Zetas.
So have you been playing since the very beginning of the game?
No. So I'm a little sheepish about the origin of my account, but I was a day one player for a few months, and I quit for various reasons. But I started back up in March 2019. Played for a year plus a couple months. And then took over the current account from a shard mate who had about 1 million more GP than me. I went from like 2.85 million to 3.9. I still know Galactic Legends, so I've gotten all that new stuff on my own that I got a boost like that. But it's actually a March 2019 account. And just for reference, I have 219,000 sim tickets. I like that as a measure for how old an account actually is. So if you want to do comparisons, that's how many I have.
That's a pretty good measurement. Yeah, I like that. I had an account that I started back January 2016, and I burned out in the game about 2+ years ago, and I actually quit for like 4 months. And it's right about the time I started the channel. I was covering a couple other games, and one of those kind of died, and I just got right back into it. It was when Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker came out. I got back into the game with my original account.
Oh wow!
Because I had been wanting that character for like 5 years. It's like, where is Luke? You know. So yeah, but I don't play that account anymore. I've got a free to play account that's 2 years old, and I've got a new hyperdrive account that I'm working on building and everything. So tell me this: this is my big question for you. What has got you making content? What made you decide to start making videos? And I've watched your videos. You're really informative, but also kind of casual at the same time, which is a really good combo to me. Maybe I'm missing. Tell me if I'm missing something there. But that's how your channel feels to me.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm glad that that's your takeaway. I want to be teaching what I'm doing, and I've been able to climb pretty high in GAC. So, I mean, it's something I've thought about for a while. If you go to my account or my channel and then sort my videos by recently uploaded and go all the way to the bottom, there's one from like a couple years ago when I had a smaller free-to-play account. It's got 30 views. So I did at one point record myself talking about Grand Arena. So I had that kind of desire for a while, but I felt really stupid doing it. I didn't have enough hardware. I had a really bad computer. But things kind of lined up, and I started thinking more about it this past year. I started actually doing YouTube for real September of 2022. And I don't know, it's just kind of, I feel like I'm good enough. I know stuff. And it just seemed like fun. I like listening to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcasts, watching videos, talk shows, GAC, as long as people are prompt about it. But yeah, I don't know. It just interested me, and I finally got the guts to go out and do it.
So I pulled your channel up. I see it. First Grand Arena recording, 31 views. Doesn't it? I remember when I started on YouTube and like it's tough to get views, and you're like, does anybody even care? Am I doing this right?
Yeah.
And you really got to find your voice. What process did you go through to find your voice, and when do you think you kind of hit that mark? I mean, to this point, because I honestly think I've been doing this for a little over, I guess 2.5 years now. It just evolves, every once in a while you kind of hit a wall, and then all of a sudden you bust through it and you got something new in your hands. But where are you right now, and when did you hit what you're doing right now?
I mean, it's been actually growing faster than I can keep track of. I hit 1,000 subs right before Christmas. So I'm at close to 1,500 now, so I've gotten like 500 in a couple of weeks. It's really flying, and I'm really surprised. But to start, I would I actually started YouTube. I was trying to do like a bunch of different games. Like I played Civilization 6, I played Age of Empires 2, and there was one video with Age of Empires 2. I actually got 200 views, and I was like, wait, I could actually get people to watch, but they only would watch 1 minute out of 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, this is worthless. And went up in my head, I should make things that people actually want to see.
Right.
And the only game I play year-round is SWGOH. And that's what I think I'm actually the best at compared to any other game I play. So I was like, okay, I'm going to commit to this, and I want to provide new things that people don't have. So I'll do the GACs because I love that. But I was really waiting for that mod update, and I made a mod filters guide because I was like, people might have trouble with that. I'll try to figure that out fast and make a guide. That took forever to do, but I did. And then later, my first bigger video that actually kind of put me a little bit on the map was I kind of independently ascertained the Executrix counter to profundity. And I learned eventually it was out there, but I kind of just like brainchild that myself. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, I was actually at church when I came up with it, so I couldn't look at my phone. My wife wouldn't have liked that. I was like, what could be profundity? Malevolence isn't very reliable, and I was like, TIE Bomber, that's pretty good. We gotta make it stay alive. So I was just thinking through all this stuff. And then I was testing that counter, and I found one that worked, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of new. I'm gonna put this out. So that's kind of got me on the map. I'd share my stuff on Reddit, but I stopped doing that as soon as I got any kind of audience because you really get hammered if you're throwing stuff on Reddit. But it did give me initial exposure. Barely anyone would click on it, but people did, and then slowly built up.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, I would throw it on Reddit. I would throw videos into other people's Discords, like Dylar. We were talking about Dylar. Dylar's been a good buddy of mine in the game, and even we've had some real life conversations too for years now. In fact, at one point people were calling us spouses in the game. So, and I noticed you've done a couple of state of my account videos, which is your nod to Dylar, because when he was doing this, he would do a it was a weekly, wasn't it? State, or was it a monthly state of my account?
I don't know. I thought it was like every couple weeks or something, but yeah, I really liked watching him. I started watching those when he didn't go on camera, and it always kind of mystified me that I even liked watching. I'm like, this guy's just talking about his account. Like, why do I like watching this so much? But people just really like that because the big aspect of the game is working on your roster, building up over time, and your plans. So it's cool to see how other people do it because everyone does it a little bit differently. And I really like Dialer's approach and his mellow tone and stuff. Kind of miss having him for SWGOH, but I understand why he quit.
Yeah, it's tough with any game, you know. I know he played from the beginning too, and when you play a game for 7 years, at some point it's gonna get to you, especially if you don't take some time off. But man, you are Datacron heavy, man. I'm impressed with your Datacron load right now.
And doesn't take any money.
Free to play, 25 Datacrons.
Free Datacrons, man. Yeah, I mean, it takes at least 50. I mean, I do 50 refreshes and 100 for the first conquest set of any Datacron set. And,
Yeah.
I mean, that's important. You gotta like run out the gate to get these at the top level. The second one, I chill out. Like, I'm not gonna build this up much more second time around. But it's like when you're doing conquest and you're finishing those feats, you're farming a lot of this anyway. I don't even red crate until like a couple days before Conquest ends because I'm only doing these nodes and I'm not rushing for the feats. Like I go through the whole map. I do one battle for each unless I lose, and I try never to go back and do any of those because it's wasted opportunity to not hit a Datacron node.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, you have 4 Inquisitor Datacrons. That's you're I keep rolling the Inquisitor.
Yeah, that's because you can't
roll any
get
droids.
level 9 reroll mats. I was trying so hard to get Grand Inquisitor one before GAC started for 3v3, and I couldn't. I rolled like second sister, and then I rolled another second sister and eighth brother, and then like I didn't even get Grand Inquisitor until we won a territory war, and then I got a reroll and finally got him. So now I have 3 useless ones. Because honestly, I'm only using one of these teams in 3v3, and then in 5v5, I'm using him anyway. So at least I can reroll the stats. That's the most annoying thing to me, that you can't reroll stats until you hit level 9.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll see I focus on level 8s. Like,
okay.
Especially set 5, the target was 8. I just want full 8s. It's either 5, 8, or 3, 5, 8, or 9.
Okay.
The target, but usually 8.
Well, man, your roster's awesome. I do roster reviews, multiple times a week, and it's fun. And obviously, you're up there with anybody. And just tell me what it's like. I got a couple more questions. I'll let you go. But what's it like competing in that upper echelon of Kyber? I mean, of Kyber 1. It's gotta be just a brawl, man.
Well, thanks a lot. Well, it's actually, I'm a little bit more relaxed about it than I thought I would be. There was a time when I was just getting very anxious about GAC, and when set 4 started in the first 5v5 season, I plummeted from like rank 300 to like 1800 because I just couldn't be Lord Vader. I just couldn't do it, and I refused to like bring my own Lord Vader on offense to take care of him, so I would just lose over and over, and I just plummeted. But once I figured that out, it was so frustrating. I have one singular obstacle I was just devoting all my mental energy to and couldn't overcome it. But then once I did, I finally got like the Dash Datacron, and I brought IG-11 from like Gear 7 up to R5, and then I could actually counter him. But I don't know, I feel more relaxed about it now, and I just won one today, so I'm at like rank 120 or something. So I got another match. I think if I win one more, I'll be in the top 100.
Nice.
And I watch Zareth a lot. He's always talking about the top 100. I just think it's fun. If I'm stuck up here, I'll probably start to loathe it. But I don't know. I think I'll get put back in my place eventually.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've learned over time is I for me, like with my gameplay, I can be serious about the game, but I really have learned to convert it to a game. It's like there are times when you lose something or you do it wrong and it's really frustrating, and yeah, I'll like rage on camera or have a little fit, but then it's like And then what? And then what? Like, you know, is there peace in Ukraine? No. You know, I'm not really accomplishing anything other than having a little bit of fun. So I really learned that, you know, if I miss my fleet payout, I got to tell you, it was 4 or 5 years of arena payout every day, and I didn't miss it. And you know, you're in the bathroom while your family's out to dinner, you're ducking out of whatever, and I learned how to get by without that. So yeah, I can. I mean, you're definitely at a level that I'm not going to be at, but man, that's awesome. So let me. I got one more question for you, and then we'll let you go or get with it. But if you wanted people to know one thing about your channel, or what they might get by watching your channel, what would that one thing be?
That's a good question. Well, they get a different approach on Grand Arena, or just see just a solid, fundamentally sound approach to it. And I think I have a different voice or opinion or take on things than other channels out there right now. Yeah, I don't know. I think you might learn something. I like to do a lot of tier lists and rankings and stuff, but my favorite stuff to do is GAC. And yeah, I don't know. You just might like something. It's hard to fuck myself.
I got one more question. I just thought of it. What Galactic Legends should people farm first? People ask me all the time. Which one should they do first?
I still think Supreme Leader Kylo. I mean, I think Sith. I did a free-to-play farming guide recommending that. I think Sith Eternal's kind of crap. Like, he's the worst Galactic Legend. I don't know. I did all ranking, and numerically, he just got trounced by everyone else. I think it's either Kylo. Yeah, I think it has to be him. I mean, like, some people advocate for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, but like, since you have to get Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker 2 first, same with Java. Like, that's like a Galactic Legend on their own. And I think a lot of these other older legacy legendaries are easier to get. Like Malik doesn't require Gear 13s. And with the gear bump, like gear doubling, all those thresholds are much easier to meet.
Yeah.
Then for Supreme Leader Kylo, I mean, I think you agree on this too. It's just there aren't any extra super hard legendaries to get. Like the relic levels are forgiving, the gear is forgiving, and the one annoying thing is getting Finalizer up and ready. But otherwise, I think it's the least wasted effort, and it's the least amount of effort to get it. Like Sith Eternal, it's not worth it.
Well, the great thing now about Finalizer is you can counter Executor with it, so that doesn't really go to waste anymore.
That too.
You gotta farm the echelon with it, but yeah, so.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I wish we had double blueprint drops, but I don't know if that'll ever happen.
That'll never happen. That's just never gonna happen, man. I think they're not gonna make enough ships that they're gonna feel comfortable doing that. And they want to keep those ships a little more rare. They'd have to like double or triple the number of ships in the game in order to feel comfortable doing that. So, but that's fine.
I would even take like 3-year window. Like for characters it's after 1 year. I would even take after 3 years you double it or something. Just like, come on.
I know, man.
But I understand why they don't do it.
Just give me Red 5 and a Death Star raid, and I'll be a happy man.
All right. You're an original trilogy guy, aren't you?
I mean, so I was born in '72. I saw Star Wars at the drive-in in 1977, Empire in 1980 at the theater with my dad, and Return of the Jedi. I saw them all in the theater the first time. So for me, that's nice. The stuff I grew up on. But most of my viewers are prequel people, and there you go. So I tell them all the time, I'm like, you guys, everybody hates the sequels, right? I mean, they're just so all over the place, right? It's like, the movies don't go together, they don't make any sense. And I'm like, you guys get ready, because when the prequels came out, everybody my age hated the prequels, and we said, what is the script about? What is going on? And then 20 years later, you guys are here and you love these things. Get ready, when you're in your 40s, there's gonna be a whole generation of people that love the sequels, and you'll be having those conversations. So who knows down the road what happens?
There's a chance. I would say there'd be a bigger chance if George Lucas was at the helm, but you're right. There is a chance that'll happen.
You'll get no disagreement from me. I wish he had turned the company over to Filoni instead of Disney, or even Favreau or whatever. I just think we would have gotten, well, anyway, we'd be in much better shape right now.
We probably wouldn't have SWGOH. But yeah, we'd be in pretty good shape otherwise for movies.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, that's interesting. So, all right. Well, Songeta, I appreciate your time, man. It's really good to spend a little bit of time with you. I like I said, you were the most recommended person for me to get on the channel, so I think everybody will really enjoy this. And I'll let you. Do you have any parting words? And I'll have a little final sign off, and we'll get out of here.
Thanks for having me, and congrats on crossing 6K subs recently. I've been paying attention. But I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. We'll grow together and have some fun, and I'm sure we'll talk down the road. And I gotta tell you, I think this interview has been over 9,000. Huh? Huh?
Yeah. You know the stuff. You know the references.
That's all I know right there.
That's awesome.
That's the extent of my knowledge. Well, Songeta, have a great day, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. And good luck up there in the top 100. All right.
All right, thanks, Nooch. Thanks
Okay, everybody out there, we'll see you later, and always remember, Nooch too good.